We have the president of Nigeria Wrestling Federation right here in the studio talking about Daniel Igali. He's going to tell us preparations for the Olympics and the athletes we'll be expecting to see at the Olympics. Good morning. It's good to have you. It's been a while.
It's been a while for sure. Good morning.
Good morning. Congratulations in order as well.
Thank
African
you.
Games, fantastic performance. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Expectedly anyway.
Expectedly.
I mean, because of
Oh,
the
really?
yeah, because I mean, you guys had a fantastic. Why most federations were complaining that no phones and not. I mean, you also talked about that, but somehow you were able to just manage everything. The wrestlers went for different championships and all that. The one that was hosted in Nigeria was also a boost for them. And at the end of the day, it was a fantastic outing at the African Games.
Yeah, I thought they did well. You always think you can do more, but
Okay, I get that.
but they did well.
So all the athletes, all the wrestlers who wanted them to medal, they were able to get on the podium.
At the Africa Games?
Yes.
Yes, got on the podium, but there were maybe
Not-
one or two that I expected gold.
Okay.
That could have had gold, were really close to gold and didn't get it. And maybe there was one that I didn't expect to win gold that won, so maybe it kind of balanced out.
There's a balance there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Okay, preparations for the Olympics and all that. We know Oduayo, she's already got a ticket and all. How many more are we expecting to represent Nigeria?
My plan is to have all 6 female athletes qualify. Greco-Roman will be very tight, but
Yes.
freestyle too, I think we can qualify about 4.
Okay.
So if we can get 10 going to the Olympics, I think that would be about ideal.
Okay, 10, brilliant. So how are we going to achieve that?
Yeah, exactly. How we're going to achieve that. With the last World Championships, that's where Odwayo sealed that place.
Yeah.
What happened else after her?
There were only 6 places up for grabs at the World Championship, so you had to place top 6. Blessing Oburududu came very close. She was 7th.
Yeah.
7th, almost at the last minute. Didn't quite make it, but we have our next Olympic qualification tournament between Oceania and Africa in Morocco, and that comes up in March. But before that, we have to go to the African Championships, which is a pre-qualifier for the Olympic qualifiers in February. So we have those 2 tournaments, and I think that's where we'll qualify the bulk of our athletes. We also have another 2 World Olympic qualifying tournaments. But I would rather avoid any of the other tournaments. If we can wrap up everything in Morocco, I think it would be ideal. But the other also more important tournament is coming up in January in France, and that is a ranking tournament. What wrestling has done now is to rank athletes based on points you get. And that was why Odunayo was able to be ranked number 4, so number 3. So that precludes you from meeting number 1, 2, 3, 4 before the semifinals.
Okay.
So what I want to do, especially for my top maybe 4 or 5 athletes, is to go to all those tournaments. Luckily, the African Championships is also a ranking tournament for us. It gives us 18 points. In March. In February. In Algeria.
Okay.
In Tunisia. Then the Olympic qualifiers is the one that's in Morocco in March. So if you get 18 points from the African Championships, a gold medal is 18 points. That's going to go a long way. And the World Championships also was a ranking tournament. So Odunayo has about 15 points from that. Blessing has 8 points from that. So I think we'll be able to have about 2, 3 athletes ranked for the Olympics. That's what I want ideally.
And that gives them a better chance of advancing, like really going deep.
Yes, not meeting number 1, 2, 3 before the
Early.
semifinals.
Fantastic.
That's what I would want.
All right, so the next thing, obviously, to talk about is you've mentioned all these championships and all these events that are upcoming. Now, the next thing is, are you all going to get there? Because we all know every time there's an event, there's always issues of, funding and how to, carry your wrestlers to the events. Has anything changed now from what it used to be last year, for example?
What's very encouraging now is what I hear from the minister. I've not met him one-on-one.
Okay.
But from what I'm hearing, he seems to be a proactive person. He's been meeting with federations, and I think there are plans to meet with all federations to talk about plans for the Olympics. And I think when we meet, we'll be able to tell him what we think we should do. But even before we meet, I'm planning to send Mercy Genesis at 50 kilograms. The way she wrestled here, I was very impressed with her. She didn't win, But against the gold medalist, I think she gave her the toughest fight the gold medalist faced at the World Championships. So I'm going to send her to the Under 23 World Championships next month. And I'm planning to send Odunayo, Blessing, and Aminat to New York in November for about 2 weeks for a training program with some clubs that we're affiliated with, so that will get them ready for the competition in January. So we'll be doing our part while waiting for what the ministry will do. But from what we're hearing, I think the minister is poised to ensure that we win medals at the Olympics.
You know, it's different from just saying it, poised and all that. What about funding? Because I know that even when you have all these plans and there's no money to back it up, because usually we see money actually coming in maybe a month to the Olympics, 2 months, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about that, knowing that it's so close. So this is where you need it now if it's going to come.
And I think that is what we need to do. This is going to be beyond budget.
Yes.
Because budget is always going to be too close to the Olympics. By the time the budget will be passed, even though our national parliament is talking about getting things passed before December, by the time it will be passed, if we take a cue from what's happened years before, it will be May, June.
Yes.
And so there won't be any money for preparation. So I think the minister has plans for maybe funds that will come from elsewhere. If we can do that and get our athletes prepared for this Olympics, I think we can do well. Because I hear all these talks about winning medals, but when I sit down and I look at our teams, do you know that wrestling is the only sport in the last 6 years that has won medals at the World Championships?
Okay, we still have the president of Nigeria Wrestling Federation in the studio talking about our preparations for the 2020 Tokyo Games. And of course, we have only one athlete already there, but then we want more. He says he wants 10, and he's been talking about the different ways they can actually have 10, 6 women and 4 men. Why 6 women and 4 men? Because the women are doing better?
Yeah, I think right now our women are right there. They are at the top. And without putting pressure on them and being realistic, on a good day, I think if we do everything we're supposed to do, there are about 3 of them that can win medals at the Olympics on a good day. So we have to do everything for them, give them all the opportunities possible. Because what we need to also understand is when you do the absolute best for them is when you put them at par with others. It doesn't mean they have an advantage. It's just at par. And it still has to come down to your athletic attributes and everything else.
Still have to execute.
So we need to give them that opportunity.
That props. Okay, now, before we went to break, I mean, you were mentioning issues concerning everyone talking about winning medals at the Olympics, that you haven't seen any. I mean, apart from wrestling, since 2013, we haven't seen any particular competition at the world level where Nigerian sports will win a medal.
Yes.
Leave football outside, but other sports.
Yeah, well, football hasn't won a world medal. I'm not talking under 17. No, I'm talking seniors.
Okay, yeah, senior. Yeah,
seniors. That would be the equivalent of the World Cup, right? Yeah, a World championships. A World championships is the World Cup. Football hasn't won that. So I think while we might have this enthusiasm in wanting to win, we need to back it up. In talking to some federation presidents, I mean, most of them can't even go to the World Championships because of funding. So it may not be that we don't have athletes that are capable. It may just be that we don't have the opportunities to even present ourselves to win medals. But it worries me. It worries me that in 6 years, we have not had any able-bodied Olympic sport win a world championships. I'm not talking, there are a lot of world tournaments, but when we talk about the world championships, that's where everybody comes. World championships medal. And you will be able to look at people who can win based on how you do at the world championships. Serious countries, that's what they do. Countries like the US, China, they already know the medals they will win next year because of the past 3 years of world championships preparations and performances. But I don't think we can sit down and do that calculation now. If you were to do that, you would probably only be looking at Odunayo Adekoye, who has won 3 world championship titles in 4 years and does not have a sponsor.
Yeah, that's the
So tell me.
right?
Let's come to that very critical situation. Sport is for the youth, and you look around in Nigeria, endorsement deals here and there. But the sportsmen, the stars, the guys that go to international competitions and, make the country proud, struggle to get endorsement deals. I'm surprised. I am actually shocked that Odunayo doesn't have one. I mean, should be multiple endorsement deals for a wrestler of a caliber.
Yes.
But she doesn't have one. What's going on there, right? What seems to be the problem?
When you look at Odunayo's case, then you have to also extrapolate to other sports.
Right.
Which other sports have sponsorships to an athlete in Nigeria?
Apart from we have Blessing Okagbare, like them, we have
they're not based.
They're
here.
not based. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at the ones that are here.
The ones that are here that are at that level.
Yeah.
You see, I was at the World Championships in Kazakhstan, and the Indian team won 4 medals, silver and 3 bronze medals. And I wanted to know why they're doing so well, because we had been at par with them just 4 or 5 years ago. Tata Motors took over the sponsorship of the national team, spends about $5 million every year on the national team. In addition to that, their top athletes are sponsored by JSW Steel Company. And all these companies, their representatives were there. So I engaged them. I said, what do you benefit from sponsoring the wrestling team up to the tune of $5 million, which is about $2 billion every year? And they said, it's about national pride. India has only won 1 gold medal at the Olympics in the open era, and that they want to be the company that sponsors an athlete to win a gold medal next year. National pride. So I said, but what about marketability? They said that is not the point. They said a lot of these athletes don't even know how to read and write, the wrestlers. But our aim is their talent. It's not whether they are models. And we are the ones that are even projecting them to India. So everybody knows them now because of their talent. And we want to be the company that wins a gold medal for India. And that is what our companies need to look at. Because when we talk to companies, they talk about marketability. What is in it for us?
Well, it's a fair point on their part.
Well, it's a fair point on their part. But when you look at it, when the people that make the money for you, that buy your products and make the money for you are Nigerians. And there's what's called social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility. And if that is the only thing you do, and you can also argue that it's not only in sports, we can do that in education, we can do that. But when you are doing that in education, are you looking at anyone who is marketable? Are you not going to villages sometimes to pick students that are brilliant? It's not about marketability. You're doing that for a talent, a specific talent. So also look at wrestling, look at judo, look at boxing, and devote some amount of money to them. We're not saying what you're doing with entertainment industry is bad. It's good. That's what we want.
Spread it across.
Spread it across.
Okay.
And wrestling is the one. Judo is the one. Weightlifting is the one that will put you on the world stage as a company that promotes their country.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you
we can
so
go on
much.
and on.
I mean, we can go on and talk about this one, sponsorship deals, and the way companies can actually partner with athletes and also federations to ensure that they will just be the one to make Nigeria at least be on the medal table again, especially at the Olympics. Thank you so much, Daniel Igali, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.